everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Allie, and I film all my videos like this, all of them. But today we're decluttering my makeup. We're gonna organize it. I'm gonna show you what the room looks like, all that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop on. I might have to stop in the middle to unload my camera because there's like some memory issues. But we're gonna start in these drawers here, and then I'll move up to the things on the top. So the way I have it right now is this first drawer is my project pan stuff. I got this drawer set from Amazon, so it's just like a cheap drawer set. It's not my favorite way to store things, but this is all the stuff for my pan project. So I am going to be getting rid of one thing, but the first thing I have in here is my Aliraebanz Mega Pro 3. It's one of my favorites, and I'm definitely not getting rid of this because I can't buy it anymore. Something I am going to get rid of is the Makeup Revolution Contour Kit. This was initially in my pan project, and I made some dent in it, but it's not my favorite thing anymore. The powders they just kind of look muddy on the skin, and I never well, actually, I'm going to try to use it as a bronzer, so I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm horrible at decluttering, by the way. I'm trying to at least hit pan on the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in the shade Prim. That's what that looks like. It's a mini, so is this too much? Oh my gosh, my back is killing me. I have the Pixie Glow Mist. As you can see, I've used a heck of a lot of it. I'm trying to find a sitting situation that works. I have the Buxom Lip Gloss in White Russian. And this is for my yearly one. So the Cover FX Loose Setting Powder, I made quite a lot of progress on it. No. Thank you. I have the Modern Renaissance palette. I'm of course not getting rid of this. I mean, I love that palette. I'm trying to pan it this year. One that's becoming increasingly difficult is the Tarte Clean Slate Primer. I don't like it. Makes something weird go on my nose. It makes everything, like, you'll put it in your T-zone and everything around your T-zone just looks bad, but I'm going to try to finish it. Another one that's becoming hard to finish is the Jordana Contour Stick, and part of it feels like it's going off. It doesn't blend as well as it used to. But I'm gonna keep working through it, try to finish it. And then I have the Too Faced Melted Matte, which I haven't touched this year, and I'm supposed to be panning it. So the same with I'm actually going to get rid of this, the Monster Ardency Inliner. I had a nightmare of an experience with the pencil liner, so I'm not using pencil liners anymore, so I am going to throw that away. Some things in here that aren't makeup. I have like the empty container, it's my KL polish stuff, an empty Viseart palette, some nail stuff, and then I'm trying to finish this month. This is the Versace Bright Crystal. It's like a small roller ball. I'm also trying to finish the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion and also the Born This Way concealer. So that's all the stuff that's in here. I'm just gonna organize it. I don't feel like this is a good, let me try it this way. I feel like this is a better angle. So not too much organization just because it's not really necessary. Alright, this is the second drawer down. It's all of my high-end eyeshadow palettes. One I'm for sure not getting rid of is my Urban Decay Naked Heat. I love that eyeshadow palette. I will also not be getting rid of my Pure Soiree Diaries. This is another favorite of mine. I also have the Urban Decay Naked Basics, and even though I haven't used it in a while, I still really enjoy it, so I want to hold on to it for now. One that I'm kind of conflicted about is the Tartelette and Bloom palette. I like it, but I don't know if I love it, so I'm going to put this to the side because I may get rid of this one. I have the two Studio On The Go makeup palettes, and I actually really like these. I have this one in Cool Down and this one in, I think, Warm Up, and both of them I really like, so I will be keeping these. One I'm pretty sure I'm going to get rid of is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2. It's not that I dislike this palette, it's just I can only create one look with it, and for me I need, I need more out of a palette, and I'm just not getting it with this, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. I'm definitely going to keep my Too Faced just peachy palette. It's one of my favorites. As well as the Lorac Pro Matte, another favorite of mine. This one is a new one to me. It's the BoxyCharm and Pure eyeshadow palette. It has some really cool colors, so I'm really into this right now. One that I'm contemplating getting rid of is my It Cosmetics Naturally Pretty palette. As much as I like it, it actually looks really similar to the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. They're almost exactly, it's blinding you, hold on. They look almost exactly alike, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the It Cosmetics one and keep the Urban Decay one because I like the Urban Decay one better. I have the Blink x BoxyCharm eyeshadow palette, which I love. I think this is an amazing palette. And I'm actually going to get rid of this one. It's a mini Clinique one. First of all, Clinique is not cruelty free. I was hesitant to get rid of this because it was like a gift with purchase or something. I don't know. But I'm going to end up getting rid of it because I liked the packaging. But I'm going to sit and think about the Tartelette and Bloom. I just spent so much money on it. The other two, like the Naturally Pretty one I bought on sale. The Clinique one was a gift with purchase. And the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea came in a BoxyCharm. So I don't feel as bad getting rid of them. But this I bought with my own money and it paid full price for it, so I'm not 100% sure about it yet. Alright, so that's my high-end eyeshadow palette drawer. Alright, this is my highlighters and my bronzers, and this one, if I'm being honest, gives me anxiety. So I'm going to try to be ruthless, but I don't think I will be. So we'll start with highlighters. For sure keeping the Physicians Formula. Ooh, the Physicians Formula Shimmer Brick. I love this one. I'm actually surprising myself because I'm on the fence about this. I just don't use it that much. And I don't know. It's just, I really, really love it. And I love Becca powders. But I don't know. I'm not sure about it. So I'm going to put it in the maybe along with the Tartelette and Bloom. I have the Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter. I'm still trying this out. I'm still not sure about it, but I'm still trying it out. I have these two Pixie ones, which I'm definitely keeping. I absolutely love these. I have the NYX Duochromatic highlighter. It's in the shade Twilight Twinkle, and it has like a blue shift, and it's the only highlighter in my collection aside from the Moonchild Glow Kit that has this type of blue shift. So I'm going to keep this one because I really, really like it. I talked about this one in one of my Friday favorites and fails, I think, because I really like it. It just doesn't stay on the skin. So I'm going to put that in the maybe. I have these two from Wet n Wild. Let me see. This one is in the shade The Sweetest Bling. I feel like if I keep this one, I don't need the Becca one. Yeah, it's almost exactly the same as the Becca one. And except this one's kind of cool. I think I'm going to get rid of that Becca highlighter. And then I have this one. It's a like duochrome purple, which I actually thought I would really like because I actually like duochrome highlighters, but it ends up just looking kind of like a bruise on the skin, so I'm actually going to get rid of this one. I have my Ofra highlighter in Beverly Hills. I'm definitely not getting rid of this. I love it. I have the Milani Afterglow highlighter, or it's the strobe light highlighter in the shade Afterglow, and I love that, so I'm going to keep that. This is one of my new favorites. It's the Ulta Beauty Liquid Illuminator. I'm definitely keeping that. I have the Laura Geller Baked highlighter in the shade Charming Pink. And again, I love this one. It's actually really similar to the Becca one, so again, another reason to not keep the Becca one. Another one of my favorites is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Liquid Highlighter in the shade Sin, so I'm definitely keeping that. I have the Wet n Wild Hello Halo highlighter in the shade Halo Graphic. It's more of an iridescent, but I still like it, so I'm going to keep it. This is new to me. It's from Winky Lux. I got it in my Ipsy bag. Ooh. And I'm definitely going to keep it. It's like a duochrome pinky highlight, and it's really, really pretty. Another one I'm definitely not getting rid of is the Physicians Formula Butter Highlight in the shade Pearl. Love this one. Definitely not getting rid of it. I'm still testing this one out, but I do like it as an inner corner highlight at the very least. It's the shade Lunch Money. It's a Super Shock Shadow. I just wish they would have changed the formulation and not made it exactly like the eyeshadows. I wish they would have made it a little less oily. because it just feels kind of oily to the touch. So I'm gonna keep it for now. I have the NYX Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator. I used to mix this a lot with my Hourglass foundation, but I actually found a way that I like that better. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this away. It's really old, so I don't really feel guilty about throwing it away. This is the Pixie by Petra Highlight and Blush Duo in the shade Peach Honey. Let me swatch the highlighter. Yeah, you kind of have to mix it together and wear it as a blush, and I don't love it as a blush because I'm not into shimmery blushes, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this one. I have the Laura Geller highlighter in the shade Baked Portofino, and this is one of my favorites. It's one of my first highlighters, so I'm definitely keeping that. I have the Becca highlight in the shade Opal. It's a mini size, but I still really like it, so I'm keeping that. I have a mini of the Shimmering Skin Perfector, like the, what's it called? The one that's liquid. It's in the shade Moonstone. Definitely keeping that one. These I'm kind of torn about. It's the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. I feel like I need to try them again in order to make a decision. I used to love them, but I think I need some time. So let's put all this stuff back. This is so much less overwhelming now. Oh, I almost forgot about this. This is my Essence Pure Nude highlighter. It's one of my favorites. So I'm obviously keeping that. I have my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, which I love, so I'm for sure keeping that. Probably not going to get rid of it all. Excuse me. I'm probably not going to get rid of a lot of bronzers. I have the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. It's a mini, but nonetheless, still keeping that. I have my NARS Laguna bronzer, and I wish they were cruelty free. I'm eventually going to put this in my project pan, but for now, I'm still going to use it and keep it. No point in wasting it. A recent favorite is the Smashbox Step by Step Contouring Pencil in the shade Bronze, and I love this thing. It was a Jaclyn Hill recommendation. I saw it in one of her videos, and I bought it, and I've been loving it. Two bronzers that were initially in my declutter pile a long time ago were the NYX Matte Bronzer and the Rimmel Natural Bronzer. Both of them look really orange in the pan, but when you put them on the skin, especially if you're pale, they look amazing. The same with this one. So I'm definitely keeping these because I actually really like them, and I think I'll love them even more in the summertime. Another favorite for pale skin is the matte bronzing powder for darker skin, even though it's not for darker skin at all. I've mentioned this before. But I really like this for my skin tone. The same with the Essence Luminous Matte Bronzer. I love this. I think I talked about this in a recent video. Love it. I have the Temp 2 Bronzing Liquid, and I actually really love this, so I'm keeping that. I have the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Bronzer in the shade Contour, but it's not a contouring liquid, obviously. Let me just make sure it's still good. Yeah, it hasn't dried out yet. Doesn't have a funny smell or anything like that. Liquids tend to go bad before powders, but always go by, you don't necessarily have to go by the date on the back. It's similar to like food in your fridge. If it still looks good, if it still smells good, unless it's something that produces some sort of chemical that's bad for you, you can still use it. So this is fine. I want to put this in my project pan at some point. The Estee Edit bronzer, and I absolutely love this, but they don't sell Estee Edit anymore, so I almost don't want to use it because I don't want to run out of it. So I really do like this. I don't think I used it at all last year after Estee Edit went under because I was so scared to run out of it. So I love this bronzer. I have the Benefit Hoola, which I love, but I obviously won't be repurchasing because it's not cruelty free, so I got rid of no bronzers, and I'm not surprised because I love all the bronzers that I own. Alright, now I have my blushes and my high-end primers and my high-end foundations, which I actually don't have as many of as I initially thought. Blushes are hard for me to get rid of, even though I don't wear them a lot. This is my Pretty Vulgar blush. I just got it in BoxyCharm, so I'm definitely keeping that. I have two Milani blushes. When I first got this one, I loved it. I'm going to have to incorporate it back into my rotation because this is in the shade Berry Rays. It's their Color Harmony blushes because I loved this when I first got it. The same with the Milani Romantic Rose, which I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of because it has that beautiful rose imprint. It's also a really pretty color. It's like a subtle mauve-y tone blush. I have my The Balm Hot Mama blush, which I love. Another one of my favorites is the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the shade Rosé Champagne. I've actually made a dip in it. I don't know if you can tell, but I love this blush as well. I have this. It's the MAC Melba blush, and as much as I love this, they're not cruelty free, and also I just have other blushes that I like, so I'm going to put this in the maybe pile. I have my Ulta Velvet Touch blush in the shade Princess. I like this for winter and fall. I don't get as much use out of it in the summertime, but it's a really pretty, like, deeper berry shade for the winter. My Milani Luminoso blush I get more use out of in the spring and summertime, so I haven't used it in a while, but now that it's springtime, I'll probably start using it again more. One of my favorites, which you've probably heard me talk about, is the Makeup Revolution, the matte blush in the shade Nude. It's one of my recent favorites, and I absolutely love it. This is in the highlighter packaging, but it's actually the Tarte blush in the shade Dazzled. And I'm not going to declutter it, mostly because I don't have the original packaging, so I'm hesitant to declutter it. So I'm just going to keep it. It's no big deal. It's not taking up much space. I have the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Cheek and Lip Tint. I really liked this when I first got it, and it's still good, so I'm gonna keep it. It's a really nice, like, really nice peachy pink color, and it blends out beautifully. I have two of the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes. I have the shade Party and Feisty, both of which I love. These are my favorite blushes, so definitely keeping these. I have the Too Faced Sweetie Pie bronzer, which I use as a blush, and I've talked about this before. I absolutely love this. I have the Physicians Formula Butter blush in the shade Plum Rose, and love this one as well. I have the Maybelline Fit Me blush in the shade Pink Rose. I haven't used this in a while, so I can't remember if I like it or not. Kind of unique. I don't really have a color like that in my collection, so I'm going to keep it for now. I have the Almay Smart Shade Powder Blush in the shade Pink Rose, and I think it's so... Oh, I didn't know that was there. It's so similar to that Maybelline one. And I remember I incorporated this in my collection in one of my rotations, and I really liked it, but I just never reached for it. So I'm going to keep it because I did like it. I got one of these blushes. It's the Flower Beauty Flower Pots blush in Peach Primrose, and I was not a fan of it. I'm going to keep trying it out, but I think they're too pigmented. Like, look at that. That's too much. You have to dip your blush brush in that so lightly. I don't know how I feel about this one. And I have the Luminous Loose blush from Studio Makeup. I actually really like this, so I'm going to keep this in my collection as well. And I did really bad with the blushes, so I'm actually not surprised because I love blush, but I also never use it. So one of those oxymorons, right? So I have those all straightened out. For my high-end foundations, I probably won't get rid of any of them. Oh my gosh, my foot's asleep. I have the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. I don't think I have a lot of this left. I wish you could actually see it in the bottle. So I'm going to keep it. I'm going to try to use it all up at some point. My Smashbox Studio Skin, again, it's one I'm going to keep. This one I'm kind of conflicted about. It's the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. It's in the shade 1 Lennon, and it's in the lightest shade, and yet the lightest shade is super dark. So I'll keep it because it's really full coverage, but I might end up decluttering it in the future. One I'm definitely not decluttering is my Fenty Beauty foundation. Alright, and now for my primers. I'm definitely a primer junkie. I have the Dr. Brandt Pores No More, and I actually ended up putting this back in my collection so I could try. I don't know what was cut out, but I have my Dr. Brandt's Pore No More, and I haven't been reaching for it, but I'm not going to declutter it. I love this one. It's the Dr. Brandt Luminizing Primer. I love this. Two of my all-time favorites are the Becca First Light and the Becca Backlight. I love these so much. I have the Benefit Professional, which I'm just going to try to use up and then get rid of because it's not my favorite. One that I'm absolutely sick of, it's the Too Faced Prime to Poreless. I'm done trying to use this up. It's old at this point, and I never reach for it because I don't like it, so I'm throwing this out. I'm also, let me see, I discovered that this made a really good base for like wrinkles, but I'm actually going to get rid of it because I never use it, so there's that. And then I'm definitely not getting rid of this one. It's my all-time favorite primer. It's the Hello Fab Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. So that's my blushes and high-end foundations and my primers. Alright, so this is my like double-ended brushes and brushes that won't fit anywhere else. I also have an eye primer in here, my setting spray, my drugstore primers, and then my concealers. I want to start with brushes because I do want to get rid of some brushes. I'm not getting rid of the Milani eyeshadow primer. I haven't even really used it yet. I have some Luxie ones. It's mostly travel brushes in here. I'm going to get rid of this one. It's a double-ended Lorac brush that I will never use. And the same with this one. It's from Pure Cosmetics. It's from their like Buff Collection, what's it called? Palette that I'm trying to sell, so I'll probably put it with that. And other than that, everything else can stay. I have my Nivea Post Shape Balm for Men that I'm going to keep for now. I actually really like this, and I used it the other day and enjoyed it. I'm finally going to say goodbye to this e.l.f. Tone Adjusting Primer. I just had it for far too long, and I don't reach for it anymore. The same with the NYX Color Correcting CC Cream. I only like this when I'm self-tan, and I'm just kind of in the mood to get rid of things that I only use like when I'm self-tanning. Except for foundation shades, I want to keep a few of those, but this, I'm just over it. I don't even think they sell it anymore. I'm still going to keep this. I'm going to try to use it up. It's the Maybelline Baby Skin, and I actually enjoy using this with the Backlight Priming Filter. I have the Spotlight Illuminating Base. This is from Physicians Formula. It's supposed to be a dupe for the Backlight Priming Filter, and I actually haven't even opened it yet. I'm waiting to run out of the backlight. I have my Rimmel Stay Matte Primer, and I'm going to try to use this up. Let me make sure it's still... Yeah, it still smells fine. It still seems to be good. It hasn't separated or anything like that. This is one of my favorite products. It's just it's not cruelty-free and you know. So yeah, I'm going to keep it for now. I have the Wet n Wild Dewy Base. I've heard this is a dupe for the Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer, so I'm going to keep that. And last but not least, I have the e.l.f. primer. It's called the Lit From Within primer, and I really enjoy this, so I'm going to keep it. For setting sprays, I'm actually going to get rid of this one. It's actually the Cover FX setting spray, but it's in this bottle, and I never reach for it because I'm not a big fan of it, so I'm going to get rid of that. Definitely keeping both of these. They're my Marc Jacobs and my Hangover RX. I love these things. The e.l.f. Priming Mist I'm going to keep for now, but I might get rid of later. And the Urban Decay D-Slick is one of my favorites, so I'm definitely keeping that. For concealer, I actually told myself that I would be brutal, so I'm actually going to toss out a lot of concealers because I get overwhelmed and I only reach for a few. So I'm going to throw out the Age Rewinds. I'm not even going to try to use it up because I'm just over it. And I have this Naked Skin, this like little itty bitty sample size. I'm just tossing that. I have the Rimmel Wake Me Up, and this has glitter in it, so I'm tossing this. And I love this one. It's the Bare Minerals Bare Skin. I love the Makeup Revolution ones, so I'm obviously keeping those. And I enjoy the NYX ones enough to keep them until I use them up, and the same with the Wet n Wild one. The Wet n Wild one I just wish came in more shades. The only wild card in here is the Tarte Shape Tape because I don't like this at all. So since I don't like it, I think I'm just going to throw it out. There's no sense in keeping it if I'm not using it. So now I'm going to put all this back where it was. now I have my drugstore foundations, and I just have too many. So I'm going to go through these. I have the e.l.f. I don't know what it's called, but it's like the oil-free one. This is old. It has a 6-month shelf life, and it just doesn't apply the same, so I'm going to throw that out. I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, which I'm definitely keeping. I love this. Alright, I zoomed you guys in a little bit. I have the Bourjois Healthy Mix Foundation, and I love this, so I'm definitely keeping that. I have the Maybelline Super Stay, which I like mixing with the Fenty Beauty one. I have the Milani Conceal and Perfect, which I'm actually not sure I like, but I want to keep trying it out. I have 2 of the Maybelline Fit Me's. Both of them are just obscenely the wrong shade. So I actually think I'm going to get rid of them. What's their shelf life? It doesn't have a shelf life on it. They're probably good to sell, so I'm going to try to sell these on Poshmark. I have the Rimmel Wake Me Up. This was such a bitch to get, but I don't know. I found, first of all, that vitamin C burns my skin, so I don't want to keep something that's going to burn, and I also, I like the way it looks, but I don't like it, that much, so I'm going to get rid of this. I have the Sonia Kashuk Matte Foundation. I love this. I'm definitely keeping it. I have the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation, which I haven't tried out enough, so I want to keep that as well. I have the Maybelline Better Skin, which I like to mix in when foundations are too dark for me. I have the LA Girl Pro Matte, which I'm still testing out. I have the CoverGirl Healthy Elixir, which I haven't used in a while, but I really do enjoy. I have the LA Girl Pro Coverage. It's like the dewier one, and I really like this, so I'm keeping it. This is a recent one to my collection. It's the Essence Fresh and Fit Awake Makeup. It's really similar to the Rimmel one, so I don't feel bad giving up the Rimmel one. So I have the LA Girl Pro BB Cream. This is a little bit orange on my skin, especially without a self-tan, and since there's such little left, I really like it when I use it, but I haven't reached for it in a long time. I'm going to get rid of it just because there's such little left, and I'm going to see if I miss it. I have the L'Oreal True Match Lumi, which I love, but it's obscenely dark for me, but this is my perfect self-tan foundation, and I actually like it when I'm self-tan because it makes me look like I just went to the beach. The last one is the Revlon Color Stay, and if I'm being honest with myself, I don't love this. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one as well. I don't know what the shelf life on it is, but I've had it a really long time, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna toss it. Alright, that's all my drugstore foundations now. My single shadows and pigments. I have some glitter glue, some single shadows and pigments, and all of my high-end face palettes. So let's start with the single shadows. Definitely not getting rid of my Too Faced glitter glue. I have the Urban Decay eyeshadow in the shade Sin, and I actually really like this, so I'm going to keep it. This is unopened. It's a NYX glitter, so I'm obviously going to keep that. This is a loose pigment from Wet n Wild. It was limited edition, and I actually really love the color. I just need to remember to pull it out and use it. This Marsk pigment, I don't think I've ever used. This would actually make a really good highlighter, so I'm actually going to put, oh god, this got everywhere. It's one of the reasons I don't like pigments. I'm going to put this in the maybe because I don't like how messy it is. I have 2 of the NYX matte ones, and I forget to reach for these all the time, but I actually really love both of these colors. They're in the shade Covet and Blame It on Midnight. So I like both of those a lot. Just need to remember to use them. My husband got this for me, so it's really special to me. It's the MAC Dazzle Shadow in the shade Last Dance. It was the last MAC product I used before I decided to not buy cruelty-free makeup, and I really like it, so I'm keeping this. I have the NYX Prismatic Shadow, which is broken, and I actually didn't like it that much, so I'm going to get rid of it. I actually like this one loads better than the mermaid one. It's in the shade Gilded, so I will keep this one. I need makeup wipes. Alright, I'm keeping all of my ColourPop single shadows. I actually used these the other day. I'm gonna get rid of this. It's a Bahama Mama bronzer. It's like a sample size, and I just hate sample sizes like this, so I'm getting rid of that. I love this. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Metallic Eyeshadow, so I'm keeping that around. I have this IBY Beauty. It's a highlighter, but I kept it because as an eyeshadow. And if I'm being honest, it's not unique enough for me to justify keeping, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. I'm not going to toss it. I can sell that. I have the Maybelline Single Shadow in the shade. I actually don't know what shade it is. It's really similar to the highlighter I just got rid of, except it has a pinkier undertone. So I'm actually going to keep this because I really like it. Just a little, it blends a little bit better than the highlighter on the eyes. I have the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo, which I really love. I've talked about it, so I'm definitely keeping that, obviously. This is my Z palette, and of course, I'm not getting rid of that. I personalized it. Something I am getting rid of is the Lorac Pro Conceal and Contour Palette. I got a lot of use out of it. I really enjoyed it while it lasted, but it's just gotten messy and the consistency has changed, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to throw it out. Kind of makes me sad. My husband got me that, and for some reason I'm like sensitive to that, but when it stops working and expires, you have to. This is the Smashbox Spotlight palette in the shade Pearl, and I love it, so I'm not getting rid of it. This is the Real Her Be Fearless, Be Limitless blush palette, and I like all of the blushes except for the one in the middle. I'm going to put this in the maybe. I hate getting rid of things from BoxyCharm because I can like justify it because they're from BoxyCharm, but if I keep getting rid of them, then BoxyCharm isn't worth it, so I really need to like get my shit together. I am keeping this. This is the Vintage Illuminated Face Highlighter Palette. That's from BoxyCharm too, and I am keeping it because I really enjoy it. I have the Laura Geller Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator, and I love this formula, so I'm definitely keeping this. The only one that's too dark is the Ballerina shade, but I can actually use that on my nose, and it works just fine. Just wish the packaging wasn't so cheap, and I wish the pans were bigger. That's the only complaint I have. I have the Pure Bronzer, or Bronze and Brighten palette, and I really only use it for the middle shade, the highlighter. But I can justify it. I got it from BoxyCharm, and it's like buying a $21 highlighter. So I have these two, and these are really similar. So I have the Anastasia Moonchild Glow Kit, which of course I'm keeping. I love this thing. But I also have this Naked Cosmetics palette, and have I even swatched this? Let me see. These look a little bit chunky. I'm going to keep it for now. I haven't tried it enough to give it a fair shot. I got this in BoxyCharm as well, and I don't want to get rid of it if I haven't even tried it. I always dread going through this drawer, so I always avoid it. Did I move up? Okay. So most of this stuff is just going to get moved to a different place. I'm going to move this to my sheet mask drawer. A lot of these samples I need to either try or get rid of. This is an extra one of my Wet n Wild Creme Brulee, and I'm definitely going to keep that. Some samples. I have this. I just don't like foil packet samples, and that's part of my problem. This sponge is really hard, so I'm actually going to get rid of this. Then that's a sample of the Bite Beauty. I have some samples of the Dip Brow Pomade, but I actually have the Dip Brow now. I don't like opening mascaras, but I think this is old. I've had this forever, and I forgot about it. So I'm actually going to get rid of that. These are my empty Ulta shadow containers, so I'm going to keep that. And then another Dip Brow thing I'm going to toss. Let me show you the unopened mascaras I have. Alright, I have 3 unopened mascaras. Obviously going to keep those. I have an unopened ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Alyssa. I have my Duo lash glue, which I never wear lashes, but I still have just in case. I have a lip exfoliator that when I run out of the one I'm using now, I can use that. I have a juice infused lip oil, so when I run out of a lip oil, I can use this. A tinted brow gel, again, for when I run out. I have some it's actually morning cream, but it's a night cream for me. There's a hair in it. I've opened it, but it hasn't been opened long, so I can use that whenever I run out of a night cream, or I can take it traveling. I have an extra sharpener. This is old, but it reminds me of my husband. Does it still smell like... Yeah, this chapstick reminds me of my husband for some reason, which is why I kept it, but that's ridiculous, so I'm throwing it out. I live with my husband, so like, I don't know what this is, and I'm never going to use it, and it actually feels old, so I'm just going to toss it. I have some lashes. I have some small perfumes. I have Chloe. I have the Saint and Sinner. I have Calvin Klein Eternity. I have CK2. I have Marc Jacobs Honey. And I have two smaller ones. I have Versace Bright Crystal and Elizabeth and James Bourbon, and I'm not getting rid of any of those. I have some travel-sized primers. So again, like I use these when I'm traveling. I have some stuff in here. I have a treatment oil. I also have a smoothing balm. This will probably be a dupe for my Briogeo, so I'll keep that. This is really old. This is old and it's also empty, so I'm going to throw this out. It's just a sample serum. I have a facial scrub, again, for when I travel. And then I have a strip lash adhesive, but I don't like this one, so I'm going to toss it. Put those back. I have another sharpener in there as well. I have some travel size perfumes. I think I'm going to start putting those in there because I actually do like them. They help me decide, you know, to buy things. I went and bought a bunch of lashes, and I don't know why because I never wear them, but I'm going to keep them just in case I decide to wear lashes again. So the next two drawers are where I really feel like I need to start getting strict. So this is my drugstore palette drawer. I have face palettes in the back and eye palettes in the front. I'll start with my Dulce de Leche Duo. I'm obviously keeping this. I love it. I have my Ulta Beauty Duo that I've been testing. Again, I'm just testing this and I also really love it, so I'm not getting rid of that. My NYX contour palette. You know what? Because I have this, I am going to get rid of the Makeup Revolution one. Well, I'll do it later, but I am going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of the Makeup Revolution one. I have my NYX Strobe of Genius palette, which is like my all-time favorite drugstore highlighting palette, so I'm definitely keeping that. I have my Flower Beauty highlighting palette. This was in my Best of Beauty 2017, so I'm obviously keeping that. I have my Pacifica Blush Duo, which is pretty much my favorite set of blushes ever. So I'm not getting rid of any of the eye stuff. I have this palette from Jessie's Girl, which I always justified keeping because it has like an assortment of colors. And these are actually really rich with pigment. Let me find one that's like unexpected. Let me do a bright green. The pans are really, really small, so they're hard to get into, but like these are rich in pigment. And so if I ever want to do like a colorful look with sparkle, it's perfect. And I know that, you know, I don't often do that, but first of all, this was limited edition. And second of all, it was really inexpensive, so I just feel like I can justify keeping it that way. I have the Winky Lux and BoxyCharm palette, which I love, and I'm keeping for sure. I don't know if they're drugstore actually, but I have the Gigi Hadid Maybelline palette, and I actually really like this, embarrassingly enough, so I'm going to keep that. I got this in an Ipsy, and I liked it when I used it. The colors are actually really nice on these, and they're really rich with pigment, so I'm going to keep those as well. I am kicking myself for not using this more because I really love the shade, so I'm obviously going to keep it, but I just wish I would use it more. I have the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette, and I'm not getting rid of this because I don't want to try the new formula. I like this formula just fine. The same with the Walking on Eggshells trio. I'm going to keep the old one. I have this one from Wet n Wild. It's the All Natural palette, and every time I use it I really like it, but I just don't feel like I get a variety of looks. But now that I'm looking, I feel like I don't really have a palette that looks like this, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. I have this one from e.l.f. and I actually think I'm going to get rid of it. I've had it forever and I've never ever used it because every time, it's just, I never think about it. When I want a shimmer, it's never the one that I think about. And it's not that these are bad. I mean, those are actually really pretty. I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to try to use it because that is really pretty. And then lastly, I have the e.l.f. Matte for Matte, which again, I don't really reach for, but I love it when I do, so I need to make an effort to reach for it. And I think part of it is because I just have too many. I can admit that. I know that. I think if I had less, I would reach for things more. Alright, so this is the drawer I need to be so strict on, because I just don't use a lot of things in here. It's my limited edition palettes, so I'm going to go ahead and just get started. I'm going to get rid of this one. It's the Too Faced Chocolate Chip palette, and I bought it because it was a really good travel size of the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, but in reality, I like smaller palettes, but I have enough other smaller palettes that I can justify getting rid of this. I have the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, which I'm going to keep because I love. The Becklin Jaclyn Hill palette, again, I'm going to keep it because I really do love it. This one I would really like to get rid of because as much as I like the eyeshadows, I do not like the lip products. But the lip products are also something that make me feel like I can't sell it because I've swatched all of them. So if I did sell it, I would have to sell it for like a really cheap price. I'm going to put this in the maybe. I have the Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette, which I'm not getting rid of because I still love it. This one I'm torn about. It's the Too Faced The Power of Makeup by Nikki Tutorials, and I didn't get a bad palette. It's just that I don't really reach for it. I just have so many blushes and bronzers already, and then I have, you know, these eyeshadows all look like things that I already have. Let me see, this navy blue. Navy blue is really pretty. I just feel like I shouldn't keep things just for one shade. The silver one is really crumbly. Then when it goes on, it's really pretty. I'm going to put this in the maybe as well. A lot of this, like when my husband buys me things, I don't want to get rid of it, and this is one of those instances. The Becca Chrissy Teigen, does this match my skin tone? No. But am I going to continue to use it? Yes. The highlighters in here I can actually use at the very, like right above my blush, not as a blush chopper, but like it just kind of blends in with the blush, and then I can use the bronzer. The only shade in here that I really can't use at all is the blush, but still not getting rid of it. Okay, this palette I am so torn about, because here's the thing. I always justify keeping it because it's the one eyeshadow palette I have that's bright colored and it's full of mattes, but if I'm being honest with myself, a lot of these don't blend the way that I want them to, and some of the colors aren't as pigmented as I want them to be. So, for example, this blue is beautiful, but does it blend out very well? If I'm being honest, no. This green is really pretty, but it comes off the same as a NYX green that I have. This purple is pretty, but it doesn't blend as well. And like this yellow shade, it just kind of muddies up. So if I'm being completely honest with myself, I don't love it, and I'm keeping it. I'm justifying keeping it because I feel like if I get rid of it, I'll regret it. But on the other hand, they just don't blend like I want them to. So I'm going to put this in the maybe because I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it's taking up so much space, and I don't want to keep it just because it's Kat Von D and just because it was limited edition. This palette, on the other hand, I absolutely love, and it works amazing, so I'm keeping this one for sure. It blends perfectly, and I actually get a lot of use out of it. I have the Morphe and Kathleen Lights palette, which I love, and I'm definitely keeping. I have these two by Tarte, and I actually really like both of them. They come out with these every now and then. They're like these 3-pan base palettes, and they're amazing, so I'm definitely keeping that. I have my BH Cosmetics Carly Bible palette. This is the first run that they did, and I'm definitely keeping that because I like the first run a lot better than the second. And then I have the Becca Sunset or Sun Chaser. What is this one? Sun Chaser palette, which I love, and I'm not getting rid of.